in India. We shall start our session number 174. And today is the 30th September 2023. Topic of discussion today is equanimity. This is the mental state of masters. So, last week when we are discussing about serenity, so we told the serenity is not the so-called ultimate thing. We have to reach to next level, which is called equanimity. So today we will discuss on that. So it is. So to understand that, we'll go to first the literally dictionary meaning of equanimity. And in this, in the dictionary meaning, the word has come from the Latin word called equanimitas, and this Latin word actually combination of two subwords. First one is equus, that means even in English, even or balanced. And the second part came from animos, it means mind or spirit. So that is these two combined make equanimitas, and from equanimitas the equanimity has come. So this is the source of forming this word. So in English word came from the Latin word, but much before that. So this word has been, this state has been described into long time back in the literature. It was mentioned in the Vedic literature, even the Buddhist. This word has been referred as a upekha. We'll come to that, the different religious aspects, how they have come to this, the state. First, let us understand the meaning, or so you can say the definition or explanation of this word. So this understanding of this, the meaning of this word is a state of mental balance and even-mindedness. It involves maintaining an inner calm and steadiness regardless of the external circumstances. Also developing an evenness of mind while remaining fully engaged with external events and awareness of the present moment. There is a lot of parts into it. I will explain one by one the different parts, what the explanation of this, the meaning of this word equanimity. Okay. So first part, it says that a state of mental balance and even-mindedness. So it is a state of completely balanced mind and even-mindedness. That even-mindedness means it is non-judgmental. It do not judge anything what the mind is getting input from. And it is completely balanced. It is balanced means it is not this, not that. So it is in the middle, and it is also even-mindedness means it does not inject any kind of judgment into the object of observation and what is in front of the mind. It doesn't do that. Second, it is telling that it involves maintaining an inner calm and steadiness. So, okay, this is nothing to mention further. It is an inner state. It is inner calm. You know, it is a state of tranquility. There is undisturbed position of maintaining that continuously, no matter what is happening. It is regardless of the external circumstances. So it is maintaining that your inner calm or peace, no matter what is happening in the external world, like external circumstances. Then the third part is explaining about meaning is developing an evenness of mind while remaining fully engaged with the external events and awareness of present moment. So this particular aspect, like it is not running away from it. It is fully engaged mind. Like it is not shut off the mind. Like something so-called bad thing is happening. It is not about shutting down the mind. It is fully engaged, but fully engaged with awareness. This awareness is that higher level awareness. It is a connection. Fully alert and aware of the situation, not shutting it off. And fully rooted into the present moment. How it is achieving that? By rooting itself into the present moment, now moment. I explained many times, when we root ourselves into the now moment or present moment, the connection with the consciousness opens up. So that is the connection. We just hold on and to see this, whatever is happening outside. And I will go into further detail how to develop that. And one of them is the detachment. We are detached, but we are engaged. It is actually contradictory words, but I'm just explaining how it works. We are engaged means we are there. We are not running away. We are not shutting off. So we are engaged with what is happening, but detached, not get influenced of it, not allowing and it steer up our mind with these kinds of events and these kinds of activities, and to be specific, raising any kind of emotions within us. So it is emotionless state, but emotionless state not by shutting off, by the power of the consciousness, we are not getting disturbed. So this is the whole understanding of this word, equanimity. So this is what it means, as it is a multiple aspects. So I explain it one by one, all the this aspect, from where it came and what does it mean. And if you have any question about it, just note it down in the question answer time. You can ask in the further detail if you want. It's still not clear. Okay. So this now the next point is about the importance of equanimity in various religions. Here this is the state, what I just explained, it is the state of all the people who are working on themselves, the self-realization through the religious persons, or whether it is spiritual way or religious way. This is the state the masters, they achieve that, where they are not getting distracted by what is happening outside. So no matter what religion, any masters they came, one of the quality you see that they are not perturbed or disturbed by something happening, or somebody told something to them, or something happening which is of not of liking. They are not disturbed. They are in Hindi there's a mast magan. They're not getting distracted when anything. We shared many stories of this attitude of the masters, and Gautam Buddha, I shared the story many times We'll go a little deep into Buddhism a little later. But Gautam Buddha's story that somebody came and abusing him, and you know his followers or disciples get irritated, but he didn't. He was smiling. This kind of story, somebody is doing something, many things happen to Lord Krishna also, same thing. He has a smile. It is so deep and so meaningful. So he is to reflect everything outside with a simple smile. Yeah, semi smile. It's not full-fledged smile, but that's enough. Also, this particular about the Gautam Buddha, there was a story of Kabir. So he was, sitting in a bench or something, lying down, and one dog came and bit him. Means he had a dog bite, and a lot of people came here to try to do the treatment and what happened, and to reduce the pain and all those things. And I said that Kabir is not affected by this, even the dog bite. So people say, there is a dog has already, bitten you. I mean, the dog has already had a bite on you, so you don't feel anything and pain or you don't react. He was telling, oh, kutta jane or chamdi jane. Means it is between dog and the skin or flesh. Nothing to do with me. So this is the state of the masters. Okay. And we know about Jesus Christ, and even he was nailing to the crucifixion, and he was unperturbed. He was not taken any attempt to run away or at least give any kind of reaction other than just to the Father. They don't know what they're doing, forgive them. Okay, so anyway, so this is the state. It comes, all this behavior, comes from the masters, come from the state of equanimity, which is completely balanced, completely calm. Their external circumstances do not affect them, and they are fully rooted into the present moment, and all the power come from there within. It is not without. There is nothing to do with outside, particularly when the self state is concerned. So this is a huge spiritual quality what the masters, they attain through sadhana. Okay, so it is not easy to attain this kind of state. And this just reaching to the state itself is a very, very powerful. All the power that comes from within, you tap into the infinite power, but just simply, but not allowing your mind to get disturbed with the external things, and just be rooted into the, inner calm state. And so they get extremely powerful with this kind of state. And because in the it is a state like the mirror. Like mirror itself doesn't get disturbed with if something is jumping in front of it, or there is a fire going on, or there is a running going on. Mirror doesn't get affected by it. No, it just simply reflects it. Whatever is happening is just gets reflected. So the state of the masters become that. They are like that kind of mirror. Everything is reflected, but nothing is affecting it. So that is the state. I hope I am able to describe it a little, somehow near to the actual state. It is actually inexplicable. We cannot actually by words explain the state. That's what when I have written down that the meaning, so that we don't miss anything, I wrote all the points, but I read it to you in the earlier, and still it is not enough to explain the state. But I hope you get the essence of it, and that's good enough for the time being. So now let us go into in this state. and the equanimity or in this state, how different religion they have explained this, or they have, they put it into that religion. I will just explain few on the each religion of that. Like according to Islam, that everything occurs in the material world is God's will, like Allah, the will of Allah. Because of this truth, the letting go worry, embracing equanimity should be easy, since you can always trust you are in the Allah's hands. The Islam itself, the word, it came from Arabic word called aslama, which means the peace that comes from the acceptance. We have already done our one session on the acceptance, the power of acceptance of what is. Okay, so when one accepts what is, then the person, they become peaceful, because the acceptance brings peace. So that is the teaching of Islam, and that's what Islam itself means, peace. Now, next, say Judaism, and it is the rabbis and Jewish thinkers that promote equanimity as a part of their religious teachings. Yeah? So, also known as Menuhat Nafes or Ishuv Hadal. The Judaic leaders consider equanimity a center stone of spiritual growth. So in the Jewish teaching, it's very well there. Then in Judaism already I just told, and then in the Christianity, it is, I explained earlier that not to fighting with the external forces. Jesus Christ, he himself has demonstrated during crucifixion that whatever is undergoing on him, it is not but retaliation and all that, maintaining the equanimity even in the extreme state that when one's getting killed. And this teaching in the Christianity, in the Bible, that are the many places to have this attribute of the human being, and it is taught, all this many the places. So this in the Vedic culture, it was very much there. It is known as the upeksha, the word, and it is this come from a very thousands of years back, that all the rishis and the munis, they used to practice this. And this, on the later state, this particular aspect, upeksha, which means that to observe with patience or to look over, this is this also built into the Sanskrit. They also went to the Buddhism, and this becomes one of the 4 pillars of Buddhism. It also mentioned in the Brahma Vihar some sublime attitude of the enlightened one, the Buddha. So in Buddhism, the 4 pillars, so they are like Karuna, which is compassion, then Maitri, that is loving kindness, and this one is Upeksha, that the Upeksha is the equanimity, like a tranquil state of mind, steadiness of mind. And then joy, mudita, that is, so Karuna, Maitri, Upeksha and Mudita, these are the 4, the pillars I was telling. It is as per the Brahma Vihar, which is taught in the Buddhism. And Buddhists, they accept that the constant change and suffering are an unavoidable part of life. The steadiness of mind gained through equanimity relieves you of reactivity and ill will in the face of suffering. Means that if you are not in the control of your mind, you can very well go to the in the face of any kind of negative circumstances, and if you suffer something, your mind will go towards the retaliation and ill will, like how to harm others, how to react with more badly, and all those kind of thing, which aspect is a cause of all kinds of battle and war which humanity is facing for thousands of years. So those originally it's come the taking sense of revenge, tit for tat, eye for an eye attitude. That will never solve the humanity's problem, because if it is the war and battle could have solved humanity's issues, by the time we could have very peaceful, blissful state of humanity, which we are not. Unfortunately, we are still. That means we are still things to learn here. Anyway, so these I have given some examples that what different religions they have considered. It is one of the sublime quality of a attainment one person, the master, should have, should be attained, and that is the become the identity of the master. If somebody cannot master his on her own mind, how that person can be called a master? First thing to be mastered about own mind. So this is the path of self-realization, and this is the path of this attainment is absolutely necessary, no matter which religious beliefs one come from, no matter which trade or master you follow. This is everywhere. That is everywhere. This particular thing, equanimity, is given huge importance. The state what one should achieve it. Okay, now let's see this mental state of a spiritual master in a living body. Yeah. So now let us go a little bit more on the that how masters behave. Okay. We understood what equanimity means. So even though I touched upon this while explaining about giving example of the different the masters, in this master's behavior comes for equanimity of their mental state. So it is worth studying it by observation of the masters. You can gain many things. You may see that in earlier days, people used to go and stay with the master. Like it may be Gurukul or it may be some spiritual master, and say, just to learn that these attributes, which cannot be taught by just giving some lecture or something. So just by observing the master's behavior under different circumstances, they develop that qualities within themselves. And now it is practically not possible to stay with the master all the time, but earlier that was the practice. And you see the many places they used to just to come and stay there, do seva of the master, and do uh, like some work in household work. Maybe somebody is going to market and buying vegetable, and somebody cleaning the house and all those kind of things. But they basically purpose is to stay with the master and do seva. Through the observation and in the energy field of the physical energy field of the master, they has to gain a lot of insight and knowledge what cannot be taught in the by words and things like that. So I will now share about that one story of Lahari Mashai. Okay. So as you are aware that just little bit, let me give me a little bit of background before I go to the sharing this story of this today's subject. As you know that I have been instructed by Babaji to have our next that camp at Varanasi. It is, earlier it was known as Benares. So Benares is the place of Lahari Masha's home. Lahari Masha is a direct disciple of Babaji, and he is so called one of the first uh, proponent of householder spirituality. He was a grihasti, he was a householder, married with children. So Babaji first gave him this task of spreading the Kriya Yoga and householder spirituality. From there all come. And so that is why it is very, very important for us. We take the Harimasha, and of course, then after his disciple, Swami Yukteswar Giri, and then Paramahansa Yogananda, Autobiography of a Yogi, is a famous book. It is like our textbook of all spiritual seekers. So no matter which religion, what you come from, even Lahari Masha has a lot of Muslim and Christian followers, direct disciple. He had. Also, he didn't consider the caste system. He was an upper class Brahmin, and now he didn't consider that status to be maintained during all of his when he was living in Benares, and when he used to give discourses, also the sitting arrangement, etc. There is nothing special for anybody else. Everybody used to sit the same place, and there were stories about somebody wanted to. Some lower caste people, the Brahmin, they don't want to sit aside and all, and he has offered his seat. The person was low caste. Because of that, somebody told you have to sit in the corner. How dare you to come and sit with us and try to mix with us? So there are a lot of what is called the ill thing and the treatment of the lower caste that time into the society and untouchability and this kind of stuff. So Lahari Masha was one of the proponent of the breaking those kind of social ill, you can say. So in one of the cases when he is in the Banaras, he is giving discourses, and somebody said to go and sit there. So the person to whom he was telling, he said, "You come and sit here. I will sit in your position." So then anyway, so that was a message to others. So then the person, the Brahmin who asked the other lower caste person to sit somewhere else, so he says, "I got the message and forgive me," and things like that. Anyway, so there are a lot of stories, something of that nature. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Today is quite auspicious day. Just now we crossed, we call supermoon, or it is that nearest to the equinox. Equinox means when the day and night is equal. And so it was already, many things have started changing, and today is auspicious because as I already shared, we'll go to Varanasi and visit the Lahari Masha's ashram there, and where his samadhi is there. Here his house is also there, but it is under lock and key, but you can so we'll not be able to visit his house, but you can visit his ashram. That is, we'll find out the details. But today is auspicious because the 30th of September, 1828, Lahari Masha was born today. Today is his birthday. So it is 195th birthday. So maybe in the next 5 years' time, we'll be seeing the 200 years birthday celebration. So we'll see that time what can be done in that time. But now, at least in this year, we'll visit his place. And as I mentioned, it is instructed by Babaji to do one of the will take his trail basically. So, means Lahari Masha, as I already explained, he's a pioneer householder spiritual yogi, householder spirituality from and Kriya Yoga. He has Babaji give it to him, and then we don't have the lineage of that. Paramahansa Yogananda lineage, it came through Guruji Brahmarshi Dr. Premji Nirmal. So we follow that Nirmal Kriya, but it came from Babaji. But this particular time we'll follow the trail. So we'll visit Benares and then visit Ranikhet and that Babaji's cave where Lahari Masha had been given in earlier lifetime the Diksha. He was meditating there and did that life in Lahari Masha. He traveled from Benares. He used to work in Danapur, a place near Benares, and he went to transferred to Ranikhet to the government PWD department. So and from there he come in contact with Babaji. It's all written in the autobiography of Yogi, so you can read that. But we'll visit that. Means we'll Benares and then we'll go to Babaji's cave. So today, as it is Babaji's, Lahari Masha's birthday, and during our meditation, we'll pray to him and seek his blessings so that we can follow his trail from Benares to that Babaji's cave and get the insights and his life and his teachings. When we are there, this is a part of that workshop. We are having it there. So we will do that. So now let me come to the story of Lahari Masha and his mental state. It gives us a lot of learning and teaching through these exercises. One day he was in Varanasi in Benares. So as I mentioned, a lot of people used to stay with him, his disciples. So he was having a stroll along the river Ganges, bank of the river Ganges, with one of his disciple called Krishnaram. In between, suddenly he stopped and asked Krishnaram, "Kapda far," means you tear up the cloth. Okay, let me just deviate a little bit. All of us, I'm not sure about the latest generation, but earlier days we have seen how the bandages are put. Earlier days, even our childhood, when somebody get hurt and some bleeding happening, so there are some kind of old clothes which has been used to tear up the clothes, make some putty, sort of strip of the clothes, and that strip of the clothes is it. We never used to buy this kind of bandages from the shop. It is like a luxury. To those kind. Only very deep wounds, or the doctor or nurse, they have to dressing something. They used to or that kind of gauze tape. But otherwise, small matters in the home, we used to use that strip of the old, dispose of clothes, and we have to cut them, tear them up, and then put that as a bandage. It's very common. So why I explain that? Because that's what it will be applicable here. Then the Krishnaram, he was surprised. Why? For what? What purpose? Why he's telling me like that? Then in front of his eyes, what happens from up to some building? And they were walking in the Ganges, and there is a building. One brick has fallen. It's fallen onto one of his foot. It hit the foot and it started bleeding. And then immediately the Krishnaraj, he was wearing a dhoti. Dhoti, I think very well. So dhoti, he tear up his dhoti and make some bandage, just like I explained, and put it on his leg. Because it was bleeding, so he wants to make some quick dressing. So first maybe some Ganga Jal in the water, he washed it and then put that bandage so that bleeding stops. Then Krishnaraj was telling the Gurudev, if you know that this brick is coming and hitting your foot, why you didn't move your foot away or go somewhere else? Then he realized what he meant by kapda far. Means you just make this bandage ready. So, he says you knew you were getting hit and blood will come and you did the dressing and that's why you told me to do prepare for that. But why you didn't take precaution when he moved away from that place? Let me give again, stop here and little explain that what is happening here. Like, little Harimash is stupid. So he could have saved himself easily because he was knowing. Here comes a big insight, and this event you will face. It is to many places. The masters, they know what is coming. Okay. And I also explained, and all the masters, it is not anything extraordinary for some few. All the masters, they know what is happening, what is coming to them, what is ultimately, I mean, if something even not so good, it can be harmful. Still, they are not go ahead with what their logical mind is telling. Okay, listen to this part very carefully. Of course, that is normal. What is called typical reaction to this kind of thing is if you come to know that you are going to hit by something, you will save it from yourself. No? But in this case, even if knowing the brick will hit him, he didn't move. Rather, he told his disciple to get ready for the doing that bandage. Then next explanation of him, what he told. Now I'm going to tell him what he told to Krishnaraj. He told that all the prarabdha, like whatever will happen to you because of something happened in the karmic phal and all thing, that's called prarabdha, which is the karma which is coming towards you and it will happen to you. Don't duck it. If you come to know, when you become master, you come to know. If you duck it, means that it will come back to you in a much, much bigger way, much more dangerous way. Instead of getting hit by a brick, you may hit by a car or in front of a rail. So allow that to happen. Allow that whatever is causing it, allow that to happen and then do necessary thing. And this is exactly the reason why Jesus Christ doesn't stop that other guys to what they are trying to do, nailing him. So now look at the quality of that master. Knowing everything, what is going to happen, still he didn't allow his mind to go into create any kind of emotion to come, even to for the self-defense, so-called, take action to avoid that what is about to happen. Because he also see from where it is coming. If it is coming accidentally, he could have been ducked it. But as he see it is coming from the prarabdha. He allow it to happen first and then to the thing so that it's over forever. Once the prarabdha is complete, it will never come back. So many a places, this comes from the state of equanimity of the mind. The person who is not into that state, it will be extremely difficult to behave in this manner, this fashion. This is one of the things one learns from living with a master. Many of the things you will see that master is facing with unperturbed way, even smiling, accepting everything, not retaliating or doing anything, reactionary or something just because of that. Even in that kind of state also, normally everybody claim, oh, I am in equanimity. Okay, that's fine. But it is difficult for normal people to show that equanimity state of mind when something of this kind is happening. So Lahari Masha is that example of that. All right, in the first term, I don't have much time. It says 12 minutes. Okay. Now let us go to the last section, like how to develop equanimity. Here also, a few of the things we recommend that that it can be practiced. First is the developing, how to develop that. If you need to practice it, then I have made a few points that what will be helpful to develop that. Do it as a spiritual practice. This is the spiritual practice. We need to develop attitude of non-judgment or any bias. We need to develop that attitude in us. Anything is happening, our mind is a quickly try to fix blame on something or some kind of justification or some kind of bias. How dare that so and so is to talk to me like that. This kind of judgment we have to come away from. The attitude. Not because the other person is right or wrong. It is irrespective of that. Even if they are wrong, our own attitude should be non-judgmental. So we need to hold that non-judgmental attitude. It takes time, it takes preparations, it takes a lot of perseverance to achieve to that state. But once we have mastered onto that, this attitude on our mind, on the way to master our mind, this attitude is important. Non-judgmental, unbiased approach to everything. Of liking or disliking doesn't matter. Any kind of duality, we have to do that. Next is practice being a witness consciousness, developing your witness consciousness. So that we practice during our Chitta Upasana and other different other stages of our meditation. We develop witness consciousness. So we have to be just like a witness, like you are just witnessing it without getting involved into it. And that also we teach. It is like in the river, mind is like a river, thoughts are flowing like a boat. If you are in the boat, thought will carry you away. So don't get carried away with it. Just jump out from the boat, come to the shore and watch everything from the shore. Shore is not moving. It is a steady reference position, and it is exactly what the witness consciousness is. To develop that, try to be at this bank of that river and watch everything flowing. You are not flowing. You are steady and state. This position, the steady state position where it is being observed, that is a state of equanimity. Okay. This is the state where that one should be and watching everything else outside or even inside, but that is the state. And next, very important, be rooted into the present moment. In other words, be rooted into the truth. What does it mean, rooted into the truth? Everything is truth. Yeah, but you have to understand that there are different versions of the truth. What you experience directly can only come into the present moment or now moment. Rest of it are the versions of your mind. Your past is your version of the mind. Your future is also a version of your mind. Projection of your mind, you can say, but not the truth. Truth is only the present moment. Version cannot be the truth. A reflection cannot be the original. Original is original, and it can be only experienced in the present moment. When develop the mastery into being into the present moment, okay, so they don't carry away and with the fear and all other kind of stuff, then it opens up the power. Being in the truth, rooted into the present moment, opens up the power. They call it is a transferring from present moment to omnipresent. Omnipresent is who is present everywhere. It is your nature of your soul consciousness. It can be present many places at the same time. You are omnipresent. So use that power, use that faculty within you through the present moment. So it is very important to be root yourself into the present moment. Otherwise, that faculty will not open up. The power of that faculty you cannot just bring into yourself and behave accordingly. So, and that expression of that is equanimity. And fourth is be in full awareness with detachment. In this, at the time of definition, I explained to you that be in full awareness. You should be aware. You should not shut off your eyes and bring a curtain in between. That what is happening is not. No, you should be fully aware. You should be aware what is happening. It is not running away from it. But only difference is don't get involved into it. Just get detached from it. So it is also known as, detached attachment. Like even not running away. This detached attachment is also we have to do with all our family members and all our friends and everybody around us. We should be detached attachment. Means we should be attached with them, but at the higher level, and lower level judgments we have to drop. That should be detached. So in other words, right understanding of this is detachment at the lower level, attachment at the higher level, at the soul level. Okay, this is the approach can come if you're in equanimity state, so that we can connect the higher level. If you are get involved into the lower level, the opportunity of connecting to the higher level will not arise. And of course, the higher level is the pure level, purity. So it is better to connect with that level rather than being judgmental about what somebody is saying or doing, or good, bad, right, wrong, like, dislike, and all those kind of things. Yeah. Then with this is okay, now it is about, next is how you respond to learn to respond to any situation, not to react. React is a mind action. Respond means you already got the connection, the intuitive, you already that registered, and it is already our consciousness has been reflected upon it, and what is coming out is called response. So respond to any situation as appropriate. Just no action, no reaction, no reaction, but not respond is not it is suggested here. You need to respond sometime and do it appropriately. So appropriation will come from your consciousness, not from the input from the outside. And the last point is that liberate yourself from any outcome and trust the divine. Here comes the complete surrender to the divine. All the masters, they don't take the doership of anything, what is happening to them or other things. They trust the process of the divine, and through the means called surrender. So everything is surrendered. So it is your world, your people, and you are doing. I'm just playing a small role into this. It is your world. So why should I take any kind of to getting too much involved and too much reaction, where to disturb something, whatever, good, bad, whatever is coming, I will accept it within equal measure. That is equanimity. And this trust the divine process is done. That is also important. From the surrender it comes. And it is also ma phalashu kadachana. That is the what in the Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned that. Why? Because if you attach yourself with the result, then you will get affected by the result. But on the other hand, if you are not focusing on the result, you get liberated. Means you have done your duty, done your part, and rest you leave it to divine. That is the state of the masters when they operate from the equanimity. With this, I will conclude this first half of this learning session, and I will see you all of you into the into the second half, and I'll post that the link into the second half into within a few minutes to into the group. Okay, so Om Mangalam. Okay, so it is now 7:05 p.m. So we'll start our Q&A session. So, so you have any question on this topic of equanimity? So please raise your hand and then we'll go into the questions. Okay.
Pranam Guruji.
Pranam, Hari Om.
Sir, a little bit clarification on this equanimity.
Mhm.
Once you have used the word emotionless, somebody,
Mhm.
you are at home and you are practicing equanimity, a visitor comes home or relative comes home, and if we
Mhm.
don't show any emotions,
Mhm.
how to entertain that kind of a situation? Because generally, one expects the person who comes, he expects you to be receptive, he expects you to be cheerful. But if you don't
Mhm.
show any emotion, that you're not happy or you're not sad while he's coming or going,
Mhm.
then how to survive in the relationship
Society.
environment,
Mhm.
society?
Mhm. Okay, okay, good question. See, all the equanimity, what I just explained, it is an inner state. Okay. External state, as I mentioned earlier, you have to respond appropriately. You know, you have to, inner state is, it is not disturbed, but in the externally, you do whatever is appropriate. You
Okay.
receive somebody and be cheerful because
Mm.
if there is nothing called you have to cut. Basically, exactly it is saying not to do. It is the detachment doesn't mean that you have to shut off. You have to fully engaged.
Correct.
In the definition we have explained, we should be fully engaged. It is not running away from it. Fully engaged, and you need to do whatever appropriate. You have to respond, but don't get affected by what they're saying and what they're behaving. Somebody else, they didn't say any greetings. Yeah. So you don't get upset because somebody didn't send you normal greetings and hello, how are you. Don't bother. That is your inner state. So it is an inner state. Externally, whatever you are supposed to do, you will do. But whatever is customary, whatever is socially acceptable norms, we have to do that. That's fine. That's why it should be. Yeah,
Because
changing pleasantries and all those things. So, but do it without any kind of your own इनपुट कि वो ओके हम इसको बोलेंगे उसको हम नहीं बात करेंगे and all this that need to be avoided. You just give that pleasantries and equal attention to everyone and all those things and without any judgment. That's all. But the question is whether you should do all these things, which is standard, which is like socially acceptable norms. Yes, you should be doing. We are following householder spirituality. So whatever the householder duties and all, you have to do it. But our inner state should be equanimity. So that is the equal, inner state that you need to maintain. But externally, you can, practice all these things, whatever is appropriate. Okay.
generally, Guruji, but many times I have seen the people who meditate too much, they try to become very dry. They always have a very gambhir kind of a face. And people say that they are meditate a lot. So I was wondering, whether meditation means you become so serious in life, or is it to be cheerful, or to remain your natural state? So just I was clarifying that kind of a scenario.
Understood. See, here you are giving a judgment that whoever meditates, they become kharus. So, okay, this judgment need to go. Okay,
Haji.
this judgment or like branding somebody with something, generalizing. Yeah, so this is to be avoided. You take it, everybody is unique.
Unique.
You may not get everybody be Hasmukh all the time. It is possible. because somebody who is deep into meditation and all those things, and they may be just observing, like we call that, like eyes of a fish. You see the eyes of a fish, they don't blink or something, they just look at something without any objectivity. So some of the meditators, they go into that state. It's okay. That is their unique path they are following. For that, they should not be judged. So, and
Thank you.
earlier, just to share with you, one time, just I was listening to Sri Ravi Shankar's interview into some of the place, some of the, I think, podcast. So he was telling about that if somebody is enlightened, then first question people ask, is he still normal?
Hmm.
Means, is still in the normal state? Means, it is, because this is actually many people think that when somebody get enlightened, he loses his normal mind. That is not the enlightenment means. Okay, whatever the practice and all, only the enlightenment and all, they add layers to it. Losing a normal sense is not the enlightenment. You may choose where you will operate from, yes, but not losing it. I explain it into this way, like you have earlier a two-storied building. Now you make your foundation is stronger and raise further floors above it. Now you make a seven-story building. Seven-story building does, it means that you can have your bedroom at seventh floor, drawing room at fifth floor, etc., etc., but you are not losing the ground floor, or not losing the first floor. So this is not, the whole structure will collapse. So that is not the understanding of the enlightenment is. It is not about losing something. Hmm. It is just having it, but you have to choice where you will operate from. That is your choice. So what's that, Shishi, what was mentioned, I was just smiling when you mentioned that to the interviewer. So they also they asked the question from the same point of view, that, like some of the, what is called, enlightened people, they behave crazy, like look like a pagal ho gaya. So one of the important aspect of the true enlightenment is not losing your that normal state, or like an intellectual state of mind. It is not about that. It is about usko pade jana. Like I said, the number of you build up more floors onto based on that, but not losing it. Okay, so it is part of the thing that they should be quite normal. It is normal and humble. That is also another quality of that master, that it should be humble. Temporarily, they can go through different things because your energy system is changing. So sometimes some part of the time they become very angry or this kind of thing. So we heard a lot of stories about Shirdi Sai Baba and all these things. Those are the phases, because then Dhyan Agni is a fire after all. So that has to express itself sometimes, but it is not the case that all the time it will be like that. So it is not the case. Okay, so
So,
losing normally operating state of anyone is not appreciated, and neither it is necessary. Particularly for us who are going into the householder spirituality, we have to be in household. We have to be in this world anyway, operate it, and we have to earn our own bread, and we have to do it. So that is nothing wrong, or nothing we have to get rid of. All right.
Guruji, personally, dealing with situations, it is easy to maintain equanimity probably during when somebody is appreciating, and it is quite difficult when somebody is criticizing for when you are putting your best, or even if at times you're not putting your best, but when people criticize you, then it becomes very difficult to maintain
Mm.
the equanimity. So
Mhm.
that patience or acceptance one needs to develop more.
See. the my teaching, my approach. Teaching means from my experience sharing, for the guidance.
Right, Guru.
See, it is that don't give the peace of your mind, your own peace of mind, the control key to somebody else, no matter who he or she is. Okay. You should have your own. The key should be always with you. Nobody should be able to control you, manipulate you, or make you slip from your own state of mind. That power, you don't give it to anybody. It only comes when you are looking for a validation, looking for appreciation, or looking for something in return. That expectation, when it has not happened, then we get upset. Okay. So cut down the expectation. Do your own thing. अच्छा लगा तो ठीक है, बुरा लगा तो भी ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं है. It's your view. That's all right. You have a right to view, but I also have a right to maintain my own peace of mind. Okay. It doesn't mean I will dance into your tune. Okay. I will not say anything, I will not react anything, but that does not mean I'm a dumb and stupid. Okay. So I will maintain my own path. I will keep walking my one path without getting affected by these kinds of remarks or evaluation by somebody else. Okay. Only there is one exception, that is your own guru. Whatever your guru sometimes give you thrashing. Okay, I'm just telling you that is for your own benefit. Okay, that is the only thing. You should not say I will not accept this because I'm unique, I'm this thing. Only that, because it is meant for your own betterment. That's it. That is the reason. And something your guru can see what you cannot see, and that is why it is. You have to do that. And of course, you have all the right to ask your guru to why you are telling me like that, and what I have done or said that I'm, these things, and definitely your guru will explain it to you. Okay. Okay. Otherwise, in normal cases, don't allow anybody to, play with your, their opinion, their views, to deviate you from your own living and your own path in this regard. Okay.
Thank you, Guru. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Okay. Any other question? All right. If there is no further question, so we'll go into our Kriya and meditation. Yesterday was the full moon, and as I mentioned about today is Lahari Mashe's birthday. So during the meditation and in the Guru Vandana, I will remember him, and will also we'll have the prayers during our meditation for him in this regard. And today also we'll take it as like a full moon meditation. I'll do not anything special, but the energy is still on. It normally happens 2 days before and after that full moon it stays, so we will have that advantage of that during our meditation. We'll take that energy. I will keep praying for all of you so that you are getting all these energies. All right. So just sit straight and breathe in and